Hello and welcome to Bird Talk Radio. I am your host, Joshua Martin. I'll be going over the games, the scores, and, everything Philadelphia Eagles. Go Birds. Now let's start the show. Hello, welcome to another edition of Bird Talk Radio. I am your host, Joshua Martin. Today I will be going over a quick little summary of what happened this past weekend with NFL Wildcard, actually NFL Super Wildcard, as they renamed it now. And then later I have a special interview with a not free agent, but an actual agent for MLB players and what he's doing to our hometown in Boynton Beach. I guess for now, I can just introduce my guest onto the show, if we can bring the camera over. Mr. Phil Terrano, thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then if you want to join me, just talk about a little bit of football, and then we'll get into what you do. Does that sound good?
I'll talk all sports with you all day long.
Awesome. That sounds good. If you want to pull up that first image, Katie, and then we can just get straight into things. The first game we saw Saturday, Seahawks versus 49ers. At halftime, it was kind of a close game.
Yeah.
The Seahawks were, 17-16?
I actually kind of thought Seattle had this game, honestly, in a lot of ways, but San Francisco came back and they did their thing.
Brock Purdy,
yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant,
comes
in, rookie quarterback comes in, throws for 4 touchdowns, including one to Christian McCaffrey, who they picked up halfway of the season. And the team, I said it before, the two teams I'm scared of in the NFC, because I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, is the Cowboys and the 49ers.
I may have to leave the show. I'm a Giant fan now.
You're a Giants fan? Oh, God.
We're getting ready to play each other next weekend.
Yeah, we are, too. Oh, my God. Daniel Jones is looking really good, especially this past game in Minnesota.
As a Giant fan, I wasn't expecting a lot this year, but he has definitely impressed me.
I thought you guys were going to get a top 3 pick.
Yeah, looked like it.
But
looked like it.
But obviously, I want Nick Sirianni to win Head Coach of the Year, but I have to give it to Brian Daboll.
Yeah.
For everything he's done and how he just changed that whole team around.
The locker room's awesome right
Yeah.
now. That locker room is definitely gelling together. That coaching staff has done a great job so far.
And you just get weapons on the wide receiver side of things, and you guys are good to go, because Kenny Golladay, Darius Slayton, I don't know what's up with them. They had beautiful past history, but this year with the Giants, they've just been a little sloppy.
Again, it's year to year. That's why sports are fun. You never know what you're going to get from the year to year basis. And
definitely,
some of these guys come out. I can remember some names like Plexico Burress had great years, and then all of a sudden they fell off a little bit. And Odell, Shockey.
I know. I feel so bad for Odell.
Yeah, so do I. I liked Odell, but. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You like the guys that you have.
Going on to the next game, just to speed things along, the Chargers and the Jaguars. Huge comeback for the Jaguars. Down 27-0, and they come back. They did score before halftime, which gives them, I guess, a little momentum boost to go into the second half. But, it looked like it was just bad news for them. Trevor Lawrence just comes out, throws 4 interceptions to start out it, 3 of them to Asante Samuel on the Chargers. And it just didn't look good at all for Jacksonville. But just a miraculous comeback. It's playoff time. Anything can happen, I guess.
Down 27-0 at one point. Kind of funny story. I had a little gathering at my house and to watch some of the games on Saturday night and enjoy the cold weather that we were having here in South Florida. Mm-hmm. And looked, and it was 27-0 and getting ready to clean up, and then all of a sudden it's a 31-30 game, and it was pretty credible. But
it's kind of the same thing. I was watching this game, and Trevor Lawrence was throwing 4 interceptions, and I was like, this game's over. I turn on The Sopranos because I know I don't want to watch it anymore. I put it back on, and I think it was when they were down 10, and I see the end of the game, and it's just beautiful comeback.
That's funny you said The Sopranos, because I was my house was just redone in the backyard, and we have a tiki hut that we call the Bada Bing Resort.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were all hanging out at the Bing, as I call it,
cool.
watching all the games, and like I said, having some food and enjoying some company and friends over, and a lot of my son's family and friends from his travel team that he plays with here in Boynton Beach, and we were all having a good time. But yeah, 31-30 comeback, and pretty exciting game. Unfortunately, nobody saw that coming when it's 27-0. If you turn the game off, you missed the great ending.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jacksonville has to go into Kansas City next week. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I mean, just good news for Jacksonville, especially what happened last year with Urban Meyer and the whole situation there. But seeing that team turn around with Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence finally getting his footing in the professional league, it's very exciting to see.
Yeah.
On to the next game, Dolphins and Bills, which another game that was supposed to be a blowout, honestly, for Buffalo, just dominating a third-string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, for Miami Dolphins. But, I mean, I guess you can say they're division rivals. That's why it was such a close game. And Mike McDaniel, awesome job for him this year. I know he's had some rough starts, especially with what happened to Tua. But I mean, defensively, the defense mostly helped the Miami Dolphins that game, I would say, especially with those 2 interceptions before halftime. But I mean, that was a close game too. I mean, this whole weekend was actually very exciting for football and the playoffs.
Yeah,
I should say.
I watched this game, pretty significantly compared to some of the Saturday games.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends who are Dolphin fans, and I was rooting hard for them. And obviously losing their quarterback and their running back and a bunch of their key guys. Even they lost Waddle at one point during the game. This game, I honestly, be honest with you, I really think they got robbed. I think they could have for sure won this game at a 4th down. Bad call. I mean, the guy was totally hooking his arm during the last part of the game. And when Miami had the ball making a drive, and it was clearly pass interference, they lost that call. And then the forward motion with Singletary. Look, I like Devin Singletary, good players from this area. But at the end of the day, I don't think he got the first down, and I think the game ended in the wrong direction. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Like you said, that's why we play games. But
I mean, Miami also did have. I mean, obviously we did see some inexperience with a lot of the players.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the time they just kept letting the clock run down.
Yeah.
Especially that very 4th and 1 by Miami, that last drive they had.
Yeah.
I mean, just inexperience there, and then obviously Miami hasn't been into the playoffs since 2016, so there's a lot of new opportunities, new faces, whatever you want to call it, for Miami players, especially going into Buffalo, which is a very harsh environment. And we saw all the drops that the wide receivers had, some key drops. Jalen Waddle, the big key drop. It was like a 30, 40-yard pass in his chest, and they could have done something with it, but I mean, just key drops that they wish to have back, I know.
I know if you bet Miami in this one with a 13-point spread, you're pretty happy. But the Miami faithful are not happy today. I think it was a game for them to steal, and unfortunately they didn't get it done. But look, if you're a Miami fan right now, I think you're hopeful that next year is going to be even brighter with the season that you guys had this year, or as a fan, and who knows, Lamar Jackson may be your next quarterback if Tua doesn't come back.
That would be so exciting.
Local from Boynton Beach, Florida, played at Boynton Beach High School, and Heisman Trophy winner, and I think he could fit right into that system. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun offseason for Miami fans.
Yeah, and you got to be happy about Mike McDaniel.
Yeah,
he's definitely going to be the head coach for them for a little while.
You guys look alike a lot.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. And then talking about your team, Giants and Minnesota Vikings. Was it the only team so far to win their away game?
Yep. We're on the road.
Giants come into Minnesota, the number 3 seed, and I mean, it was a good battle.
Yeah.
It was a good battle. Obviously, Kirk Cousins has that 4th down throw. It was a 4th and 8, and they only throw it 3 yards or something like that. But dominant performance. No turnovers at all. Daniel Jones, 24-35, 301 passing yards.
Yeah. No, look, the Giants have been the shocker this year in my eyes. I mean, they've come in and, obviously they have Saquon, and Daniel Jones was kind of unproven in my eyes a little bit, but I think he definitely has proved himself now.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of the year that Eli came in as a wild card, and we ran the table and went and beat New England on their undefeated year.
It always seems like that for the New York Giants. Regular season, they're always
We're the
this
big wild card
weird
guy.
team. Yeah, and then it comes to playoffs, and it's just domination.
We turn it up in the playoffs.
It's so weird. Yeah.
Yep.
And then last but not least, Ravens and Bengals. That was another good back and forth game, except for this play right here. Tyler Huntley goes up for a QB sneak. They're on like the 1 yard line, and they smack it out of his hands, and it goes straight into the hands of Sam Hubbard, and he returns it. I guess it's a fumble recovery. He returns it for 98 yards, and they win the game 24-17 with that one fumble return touchdown.
The late John Madden would have been impressed with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Big guy running down the field with the ball and,
Oh, yeah.
and outrunning all these faster guys. That was an exciting game, honestly, for the last part of the Sunday games. I thought that was a great game. Obviously, the Dallas game is on tonight against Tampa Bay. I think that game ended on a good note for the weekend, and we'll see what happens now, Bengals.
Yeah.
I think Baltimore's in trouble. They're going to lose Lamar. He wasn't even at the game last night.
I think Lamar is gonna find a new home to go to.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I think Lamar, come to Boynton Beach, buddy.
And then if we go on to the next image, I'm just gonna show you my playoff picks real quick, and then we'll go to commercial break and have a little interview talk. Get me off the screen so that we can see the 49ers there. This is what I have graphic-wise, or what I believe is gonna be the final outcome. I think Buccaneers are going to win tonight. They go into San Francisco. Don't think Bucs are going to make it past that. I obviously think we're going to have a Bills-Chiefs rematch. Hopefully that will be in a neutral turf. It would be nice to hopefully they can come down to Miami, have a nice little weather. They don't have to worry about anything, just play nice football. And then I got San Francisco, the 1 and 2 seed, going into Philly, playing them. And then I told you guys before I had Bills against the Eagles, which would
Man, you're not a homer, huh? You got the Philadelphia Eagles winning the whole thing.
Yeah, what's that?
No, it's good. Look, I'm not hating on the Philadelphia Eagles, but as a Giant fan, keep looking at us as the underdog. It's okay.
No. The Eagles have been the underdogs for a long time too, so it's okay. I know that feeling.
It's all right. I like being counted out. I'm the guy that likes the underdog and come in and put everybody's mouths to rest.
We'll see you next Saturday.
Hey, it'll be a good game. Might have to come on the show next week and talk about that.
Sounds good to me. All right, if we just go back ISO on me, I'll send you guys out to commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have a little interview talk and just talk about what's going to happen in our hometown of Boynton Beach. So I'll be right back to Bird Talk Radio.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Hi, hello, and welcome back to Bird Talk Radio. I'm your host, Joshua Martin, and today I have a special interviewee. I think that's a word. I don't know. Some facts about him. Mr. Phil Terrano works for Warner Sports Management. He's an MLBPA certified agent, draft advisor, and sports agent since 2011. And some names that some players that he looks after is Kyle Marmon of the Cleveland Guardians, Jake Knoll of Washington Nationals, and Carmine Lane of Miami Marlins, just to name a very small portion of many. So I would like to bring in Mr. Phil Terrano onto the show. And again, thank you for coming onto the show.
Thanks for having me. It was fun to talk that segment.
A little football talk.
Absolutely.
I had to get that out of the way. I apologize. But it was a super wildcard weekend.
I'm a huge football fan.
Yeah.
I've been, in fact, my son just had a football game this past Saturday. So
yeah?
he scored 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
My son Dominic.
What position?
Well, they kind of use him a little bit all over the place,
okay.
but he's pretty fast. He's a good kid. Both my boys, my son Dylan and my son Dominic, and my wife Sheila, good good, beautiful family, and we're a very big sports family. So you're never gonna insult me by talking anything sports.
Sounds good to me. Well, obviously football season right now.
Yep.
But what most importantly to you, if I had to guess, the off season for baseball right now.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
fun.
some of the trades we've seen. I mean, just how much do you love the off season compared to regular season?
You know, when everybody gets ready for football, I get ready for the off season,
Yeah.
and you know, again, get to enjoy football too. But at the same time, this is probably my busiest time of the year.
Oh, definitely.
You know, with all the trades and free agencies, and you had the international draft that started yesterday, or international signing period, I should say, you know, winter meetings and GM meetings. It's just a fun-filled, packed time of the year to where, you know, everything keeps moving along. Thankfully, you know, we get some time to hang out with our families during the holidays and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm reminded of trades even happening or signings even happening on Christmas Eve. So, you know, we're always working.
And and I know that you have players not just playing for the MLB and staying in the United States, but also international players too, right?
Yeah, represent some guys overseas. Tyler Epler, who is he was with KBO last year, which Korea Baseball League. This year he's going to be in Taiwan. I've represented guys like Just Smoke over there. He played for the Yomiuri Giants. Will Craig. This year I have JB Wendelkin. You know, the list kind of goes on and on. I've kind of broadened my horizons, not only here in the U.S., but overseas as well. It's been fun. You know, I've been doing it, like I said, since 2011, going on my 13th year, and
That's pretty.
I love it. You know, there's nothing I'd rather be doing.
Can you give just a little insight of just how much you do for all these players, just what an agent does for these players? I mean, I know they're the stars and they're the people that look out, but I mean, you do so much for them, don't you?
I do. You know, you're building a relationship from a business perspective, and that's also from a family perspective, because you got to trust the guys that you're with. They have to trust you. There's loyalty that's involved in that, and you know, I'm like to say that I am a very loyal person. There isn't anything I won't do for my clients, but you know, within, you know, the rules and the guidelines, obviously, of course, that we have to follow from, you know, a certified agent with the PA. But you know, for me, I've always brought my career to the level of every guy's going to get the same exact treatment. I don't care if you're at AAA level or you're at the big league level or just getting drafted. Everybody gets the same treatment. Everybody gets the same attention. Nobody's bigger than the other person. You know, I know there's bigger contracts for some guys and not so big for others, but all my guys are treated as if they're family. They're welcome into my home. They're welcome into my life and my family's lives, and my kids love them. And you know, what little kid wouldn't love, you know, his dad doing what I do? You know, my kids get a great benefit from that. But at the same time, I teach that, you know, loyalty is a huge part of our lives. Being respectful and respecting the game, respecting the process, and just being a good overall individual in life. So for me, giving back and doing everything that I do is a blessing. I'm not supposed to be where I am today. A lot of my close friends will tell you that they probably wouldn't have said graduating where I did and doing everything I've done, that I would be in the position I am today. But the word no is not in my vocabulary. I continue to keep fighting when everybody else tells me no. So it's a drive for me. It's a passion. I love what I do. I love the sport. I love helping people. And I love giving back too, which is part of the reason why I'm here today.
Awesome. Yeah.
So
having that passion is just it's something different, definitely.
It is. It is. You gotta love what you do.
Oh yeah.
And if you love what you do, then the rest is easy.
Oh yeah. It makes life easy too.
Absolutely.
Talking about a little bit about agency as well too. Just what do you see in players versus others, talent-wise? What makes some ball players stand out, I guess, compared to others?
You know, talent, I always say, is always found. Okay. You know, you could find talent. It's very easy to go after the guy that everybody loves. You know, it's finding that diamond in the rough. That's awesome.
Oh,
that feeling is a great feeling, to find guys that are maybe not as, you know, sought after, or just kind of fell into a situation where, you know, some guys just didn't know about them, or whatever the case may be. I love those guys. You know, don't get me wrong, we all want the number one pick.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get into this business saying, oh my God, I just want all 40 rounders. You know what I mean? Or when we had 40 rounds or whatever the case may be. Nobody says that. But I like the challenge. That's, you know, this career has been a challenge to me. Getting to where I am has been a challenge for me. I've had to fight. So I like the guys that have the grit. That, you know, sometimes there's a saying that goes, talent gets outworked by the guys that are kind of like in the background. You know what I mean? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yes.
And that's the exact saying.
Yep.
So I like the guys that are going to hard work. They're going to go out there. They're going to grind every single day. The grind is what makes you the ball player. You know, there's guys that have gone up to the big leagues that weren't first-round picks. Look at the statistics. A lot of guys that are, you know, in first rounds, second round, third round, don't always make it. So if I could get that guy, I'm happy all day long. But yeah, you know, of course, we look at talent. You know, I look at speed. I look at you know, hitting. I look at you know, hands and all the mechanics that go along with everything.
I mean, just make sure they just play baseball. Because
Absolutely.
obviously it comes down to just playing the game, really.
That's right.
But just whoever works the hardest is obviously going to be the person on top.
You want to be the guy that's first at the field and last
Yeah.
to go home.
Oh, yeah.
And if you are, you give yourself half a chance.
Oh, yeah. Now talking about your little partnership with Boynton Beach City Council and what you're building, I mean, just some things to point out. It's indoor training facility.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted it to be, was it 7,500 square feet, and they raised it up to 1,200?
So, well,
12,000, I mean.
Yeah, so I'll tell you how this all started real
Okay.
quick. You know, basically, I played at this Little League. My kids are now playing there. It's a place that I've always considered home. Growing up, playing there, coaching there later on, serving on the board for Little League. So it was a place near and dear to my heart, and a place where I feel like if it wasn't for this place, I would probably never got to the point where I'm at with my career. It gave a lot to me from that aspect. And you know, when I approached the city 3 years ago and said, hey, I have this idea, you know, would you guys be interested in listening to it and potentially, you know, hopefully getting it done? They kind of looked at me like, wow, great idea, but you know what I mean? So again, didn't like the word no. So I kept fighting and proving why it would be beneficial to the community, why it would be beneficial to get kids that think they can't play baseball because it's too expensive sport for them or families, to bring them over and give them an opportunity without charging them anything and giving them scholarships in order to play that. Why it's a great situation for kids that you know, may be of a disadvantage in walking or whatever the case may be with our First Step Foundation and doing what they call somewhat of a miracle league, but ours is called First Step Foundation, and adding handicapped children or adults to be able to play baseball. So there was all these different things that I wanted to do that I felt would enhance the community once again. You know what I mean? Bring back the kids that maybe are having doubts of Little League baseball or travel baseball or whatever the case may be. So this is a good program and a good project to give back to everybody. My trainers are not just baseball trainers. They're sports trainers.
Yeah.
They deal with people like Coco Graff and you know, guys in Taekwon Thornton who broke the combine record this year, you know, this past season. You know, so all these things that we're going to add into the Little League Park itself is going to be wonderful. So yeah, I started out with a 7,500 square foot facility. Then we kind of went on some tours in some other areas, and all of a sudden it was, you know, can we do 12? And I'm like, why 12? Well, that guy has 10, so we want to be better than that guy. So, you know, it was really refreshing to go through this process. A little nerve-wracking at times because I put a lot of heart and determination and passion into it. But and again, I don't like the word no, so I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I was going to get it done. You know, I was going to get this done for the community. It's the right thing to do. And I think everybody's going to enjoy it once it's all finished.
Yep, and we're going to see this training facility off of Woolbright, right?
Yeah, so it's the East Boynton Little League Park, which is off Woolbright 95, just east of 95 on Woolbright Road. You can't miss it. The lights are right there. They're always on Monday through Sunday sometimes. So, you know, it's right there. It's a great destination park that we're anticipating it to be. We're going to add new turf fields, new concession stands, new lighting. the 12,000 potentially square foot building. What else? T-ball fields. We're going to do new scoreboards, camps, kid camps. Now, don't forget, I'm an agent, so a lot of my players are going to be utilizing these fields and the facility. So while they're utilizing those fields, they're going to be there to see the kids, teach them camps, teach them knowledge of how hard it was to get to where they are today. You know, a lot of people don't understand. Everybody thinks their kid's going to be the next Derek Jeter, and I hope they are. That's good business for me at the same time. But at the same, it's realistically, not everybody makes it to the big leagues. Not everybody's going to be a big leaguer.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it's fun to hear an understanding of how hard it is to get to that point. You know, like I said, the grinder.
I mean, I have it here. I mean, how huge do you think it is for these little leaguers to interact with these actual professional players that made it? I mean, they can give them advice, and not only that, they're humans, and they can just have one-on-one conversations with them.
You know, most people don't understand these guys are doing a job too.
Yeah.
Okay, they're in a business. Baseball is a business. Sports entertainment is a business.
Yep.
So, you know, when they're on the field, they may not have 2 minutes. They have to go do their jobs. You know, like when we're doing our job, we can't usually be interrupted, right? They're doing their job, so it's hard for them. It's not that they don't want to give you the autographs, but I do understand. I tell my players all the time, you got to try to do, you know, your best to give that autograph out. It means the world to these kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why the families spend so much money to go to these games. You know, and it's not cheap to go to a baseball game anymore.
Yeah,
so, you know, when I thought about doing this, I was like, "Whoa, what a great idea to have these guys out there throwing out first pitches during a Little League Grand Open, or opening day, or to be there during a kids camp during the summertime when kids are out of school and offering their advice, like you said, and their knowledge and how hard it was, and giving them pointers." I mean, talk about autographs. I mean, that's personal attention right there, and that's what these kids in this Little League are going to get.
Yeah.
They're going to get all that stuff. And not only is it going to be my players, but it's my agency's guys that want to utilize it. You know, we represent over 80 players currently right now in Warner Sports Management. So, here and abroad. So, and then, of course, the trainers and all the people that they train. You know, they have a book of business. The trainer I have is Mike Barwis. He's located here in Deerfield Beach. Been around for 35 years, training Yoenis Cespedes, David Wright, DeGrom, Coco Graf, all these people. So all that stuff is going to be implemented into this indoor facility, and these kids are going to be around it all the time.
I mean, talk about the indoor training facility. I have it written down. It would offer strength and conditioning training for multiple sports, which you talked about, just not baseball.
Yep.
Nutrition programs, batting cages, bullpen mounds, data assessments, physical therapy, chiropractic services, youth camps, and scholarship programs. I mean, it has everything.
It has everything you can ever want. We're going to have obviously some offices out of there too, but at the same time, it's going to be a one-stop shop facility. Our guys are going to be able to step outside and hit some fly balls and fungos and stuff like that, take grounders, and then walk back inside and have their workout. You know what I mean? And it's really cool. There's other places that are around that are like this, but I think mine's going to be a little bit unique in a sense because it's going to be at a Little League field. It's going to be, taking part into a Little League organization and a system to give back to the community, to those kids. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Like when I was growing up, I would have loved something like this.
Oh, trust me, I would too.
I mean, how could you not?
Yeah.
So.
I played at Phipps Park.
Yeah, I know.
I played there. Oh my! I started at Lake Worth Ball Fields. I moved over to Phipps Park. I played travel ball there for a little bit.
There you go.
I went to Cooperstown. I mean, Little League baseball is probably the happiest time as a kid.
Absolutely.
Because you have a team around you, and that team is your family for a little bit.
Yeah.
And just playing with them it's absolutely amazing.
Like I said, I have kids that are playing it right now. So my son is 11 years old. He plays 11U for the East Boynton Blaze, and my youngest boy is playing coach pitch and football too. So. Like I said, he scored 4 touchdowns this week, and I'm real proud of him. He's something to watch. But both my boys, and again, these kind of projects are good projects for the kids that want to learn. Look, like I said, not everybody's going to choose baseball as their career.
Yeah.
I tell my kids all the time, you're not going to play baseball because Daddy does that for a living. You're going to play baseball because you love it, and if you don't love it anymore, then don't play it. But if you do, love the game because it'll love you back. You know what I mean? As long as you're good to the game, I've always believed the game will be good to you. So, we said earlier this morning, it is a field of dreams, and if we build it, they will come. And I truly believe that people are going to come.
Definitely.
They're going to enjoy it, whether or not they end up to be professional athletes or not. That's not the point. The point is a good feeling for kids that get opportunities to meet players, to train at a high level, to do everything that they set out to do. And if that's in their future plans, or if that's in their goals and dreams, go after it. I always say, if you have a dream, don't let anybody tell you no. Go after your dreams, and they'll come true if you want them bad enough.
Oh, definitely.
It's not a cliche.
I would love to come and just hit some baseballs in the batting
More than
cages.
welcome.
That would be absolutely amazing.
I'm truthfully thinking about doing like a little podcast room or some sort of studio.
Yeah.
Friends with some good reporters out there like John Heyman and stuff like that. So how cool would it be for the kids while they're training and hitting baseballs to watch a Pete Alonso getting an interview inside a facility through a glass window while live on air, you know what I mean?
That would be cool.
So I want to just continue to keep doing cool stuff that not only can the players be involved, but the community can be involved and see it at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So many things in sports are behind closed doors, you know what I mean? And we forget it was a kid's game. Mm-hmm. I played it as a kid.
Everyone starts out playing t-ball.
That's
They
right.
all start playing just the same way we do.
Yeah.
It's just they just kept striving, kept working hard at it. And I think this training facility gives them an inspiration a little bit to
Absolutely.
just keep working hard towards something that they love.
That's right. Look, I mentioned earlier about Lamar Jackson. Lamar was a Heisman Trophy winner. Okay, went to Boynton Beach High School. Be cool if he was on the Miami Dolphins, but look what he did. You know what I mean? It's so possible to accomplish your dreams if you want them bad enough. So look at Devin Travis, who grew up and played at East Boynton Little League. He went to the Little League World Series in 2003, and we won that year. So this is the 20th year anniversary, and Devin's a great friend of mine.
Awesome.
So he's going to be there, and he went to FSU and played locally, so Palm Beach Central High School. So these are guys that have gone through everything that all these other kids are going to go through if they really truly want to play baseball. So you got to start somewhere. And East Boynton Little League is a better place than any other place I could think of.
Just to wrap things up a little bit,
Sure.
do you have any inspirations for creating this training facility?
Yeah. Understanding that I'm not supposed to be where I am today, and now giving back because I've got to that point. And, so many people forget where they come from. I didn't. I know where I came from. I know how hard I worked to get here. And I know what my heart tells me is the right thing to do for kids. When I played at East Boynton Little League, one of the roughest times I had growing up was when I lost my sister. And, she passed away in a car accident. And that year that she passed away, my family took a little bit of a hard take on life, obviously, losing a sibling, losing a daughter.
Yeah.
And, I never forget how the coaches treated me and how they gave to me, how they looked after my family. That's all I want to do for kids. I want to give back the same way those coaches gave to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely understand because giving back is everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. If we all gave back a little bit,
The world would be just a little bit better.
just a little bit.
Just a little better.
I don't want to say the world would be a perfect place. It's not going to be a perfect place. We all know that.
Yeah.
But it's the greatest place that I've ever seen, and I've been all over the world.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And then with the facilities now starting up and running a little bit, do you know when things will be
I'm hoping.
going?
So that's the magic question. I want to be going and breaking ground by February. That's my goal.
Oh.
If we can be breaking ground by February, I feel we have a good chance to be done maybe by the summertime, a little bit past fall, right around there. But the goal is truly to be done by the end of the year.
Awesome.
I want to have the East Boynton Little League, the 2003 World Series champions.
Yeah, I mean, it just
come
seems
in.
like everything's coming.
20-year
perfect
anniversary.
circle.
Again, life circle, how life comes full circle, how it came full circle for me, how it came full circle for some of those guys that played on that team, that played professionally, that are now retired or not playing anymore or whatever. And, have them cut the ribbon, have them, bless the next 50 years, because I got a 30-year lease with 2 10-year extensions, which means baseball's going to be around in Boynton Beach for a while.
Yeah.
And this is the next generation. They're going to pass the torch to those kids, cut the ribbon, and we're going to move forward in a positive direction.
Yeah, it just seems like a perfect circle. That's all.
I get goosebumps when I think about it, because how cool is it going to be? Again, these kids are going to experience stuff that most people don't get to experience.
Yeah.
Or if they're not within the community. And this is not just the Boynton Beach, project. I want people from Delray, Boca, Deerfield. I don't care where you're from. Come, we're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're going to be there. We're going to be working. And again, you don't have to play baseball. You can play football, basketball, soccer. Our trainer Mike Barwis, his son is on the U.S. national team. He's 13 years old. So he's a good athlete. His son is, extremely good baseball player. So, there's just so many good things that are going to happen there. So many people that care. Mike Barwis he cares about everybody he helps. So, that's what it's all about, for me.
Yeah. I guess one last question I got to ask.
Sure.
Too, because this offseason has been crazy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing that you've seen this? I mean, mine's Trey Turner to Philadelphia Phillies.
You know what Trey Turner's from Boynton Beach, right? West Point.
Is?
Yes.
Oh my
he
God.
played at West Point Little League.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and Park Vista High School, and went on and went to Carolinas. And, Trey, that's a great example. Trey Turner was not the guy he is now growing up.
I mean, he's a small kid.
He was a small kid.
Yeah.
He was always fast.
Yeah.
He was always good speed. He got faster. Speed and agility classes probably did it for him. But, he is the epitome of what happens when you work hard. Look, this guy just signed a ridiculous contract. God bless him and his family and all the, hard work he's done to get to this point. But local guy, played at West Point Little League, played at Park Vista High School, now is playing with the Philadelphia Phillies.
South Florida has, not just Florida in general, but South Florida has talent.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, these players that come out of Dwyer High School, you said Park Vista.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen some of these players play high school ball, and they're ready for the next thing.
There's a lot of good players around this area. And again, a lot of players come here in the off season to train. We have beautiful weather. Yes, it's been cold the last couple of days, but for the most part, we don't get 6 months of 20-degree weather. We get 75, 80s, and nice low cool nights. But for the most part, it's the best place to come to train, to be a part of. I'm a New Yorker, but I love Florida and at heart, and I live here. I make my home here. My family lives here, so we're here for the long haul, and we want everybody to come down and enjoy with us. So,
awesome.
Enjoy the weather.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So definitely check out more about Phil Terrano and what is going on with East Boynton Beach Little League Park and the training facility that's coming off of Woolbright. Just check out about that. It's exciting news. But I'm your host for today, Joshua Martin. Bird Talk Radio goes live every Monday at 11 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and many other streaming platforms, produced by Amp Media Productions. And we'll catch you guys next week. Thank you for watching Bird Talk Radio. Again, I am your host, Joshua Martin. If you want to contact me or be on the show, just email me at birdtalkradio2022@gmail.com, or you can call in during the show at 888-994-4995 in Studio A. Have a wonderful day, and remember, go Birds.